Hello everyone. So may special video tayo ngayon. Let's talk about Miss Leni Robredo herself. Tingnan natin. Tag ko nga si Leni dito sa title para baka maraming magsalita. And I am hoping for a healthy, non-toxic conversation uh, with this. Kung hindi ito healthy, ito-turn up ko yung comment. Sabi ko sa inyo. Ito-turn up ko yung comment kung hindi healthy. Baka wala nga pamansin, pero mas okay na kung walang pamansin kaysa naman maging toxic yung conversation, di ba? Okay, so what I'm about to talk about today in today's video is can Lenny run it back and what went wrong with Lenny Robredo. So nangyari, di ba? Unofficial count, BBM has like 30 million votes and Lenny has like the almost the same vote as she got in 2016. So, in hindsight, walang nadagdag kay Lenny. Wala siyang nakuhang suporta. Parang sila-sila rin lang yung nagboto sa kanya. So, what went wrong? And what drove undecided people, political people away from voting for Lenny? Okay. One fact that I want to really point out is the Zealots campaign. So medyo zealous yung kampanya ni Lenny na she was regarded as so clean. She was so regarded as clean and honest person to the point na para naging medyo na shove down sa lalamunan ng karamihan. And to the point that we're gonna get to point number 2 to Lenny being a zealot. There are just people na hindi matanggap yun and they need to be like what, very very modest, to empathize with the people, to parang they need to be more like the people na tina-target nila. So the zealots kinda oversold Lenny in a bit. Na yeah, she got overhype. Ika nga. Hinipe masyado yung kanyang leadership to the point that it drove off people away from her. And you may ask why? We're just presenting facts. Well, people, many people don't like to be spoon-fed on facts. You need to feed in their egos. Ika nga. And kung mas mataas ang ego ng isang tao na pinipilit mo, siya yung botohin mo, it's just gonna work. It's just gonna drive up people. And that is we're going to go to number 2, negative campaigning. When it comes to negative campaigning, both sides of the floor had negative campaigns. BBM has negative campaigning and Lenny has negative campaigning. But what I see is the difference is the BBM negative campaigning during the campaign period is more when they are provoked, unlike Lenny Lenny supporters who are more aggressive. Ika nga, medyo zealous yung mga supporters si Lenny. So, to the point na hindi sang-ayon ng isa, we're gonna get to that point again. To the point na they've attacked a church during a evangelical mission. Sa Iglesia ni Cristo. Shoutout sa mga kapatid ko sa Iglesia ni Cristo dyan. They've, like what? Nung inendorso ng Iglesia ni... No, I can't say endorso. Nung pinagkaisahan ng Iglesia ni Cristo ang boto kay Bongbong Marcos, they suddenly changed their profile frame to show solidarity in to show solidarity, like they want to be seen as the dominant breed, and their dominant complex hurt Lenny. Yung negative campaigning kasi ng nila Robredo was more like bobo, tanga, ganun. And I would like to read some random tweets when Lenny loses in the Mindset nyo, never ako mahiya na bumoto ako sa may malinis sa track record. Never. Kaya up until now, naka-frame pa rin ako ng Lenny sa Facebook. Yeah, so that's being a zealot. And that is superiority complex. And that is negative, that is promoting negativity. Yung kay BBM kasi medyo retaliatory yung ano niya. Pag sinabihan mo ng bobo yung BBM supporters, they will respond to Lenny Lugaw, Lutang, like that. It was never in the offensive way, it's more on a defensive mechanism. Isa pa to, iyak daw kasi talo. Tanga, may work pa rin ako, may sariling bahay, kotse. Bumoto ako para hindi sa akin na sa malaylayan sa anak ko in the future. Silang pinaiyak nyo, hindi kami. Gusto ko lang naman ng tapat na gobyerno. See? Like that. It's something that is going to hurt her in a long time. And let's not forget the fact andyan si Rowena Guanzon, who is really, really into negative campaigning. Yung ngiwi, di ba? That was something really hurts in the long time. Yung kay BBM meron nga pero medyo retaliatory kaya it was more of a response. I mean until now nanalo na nga sila na sa BBM, may mga negative campaigning pa eh. Parang nililight nila, pinuputi nila. Binarricade lang yung yung opisina yung campaign headquarters ni Bongbong Marcos. And they are already quick to judge na Bongbong Marcos isn't for the people. Right? So we need to look into the consideration na there are people that's gonna get their feelings hurt, and we must not try to put some negativity in our campaign. And that, or if you want, you have to be defensive on it. Number 3 reason what went wrong with Lenny is the momentum was in late game. So late game nagpakita ng momentum si Miss Robredo. This is where they figure out nag-house to house sila, and then they try to make revival concerts. Left parang kada linggo may concert. And yeah. Now, that momentum made some last minute switches. So, yeah, it was really, really good, but I wish it could have happened earlier. If it could have happened earlier, we could have expected a close fight. But it happened late when people are already decided on voting on who to vote for. The number of people na yung umatay sa sponsor, patagdag, that's good. But there is also the feeling na sila rin yung nasa concert. Like I've seen in my Facebook, I've seen the same number of people with the frames that are also attending the concert. I think it's much better if they could have shown if people would have hold their feelings and see how much people would attend those concerts from that specific area instead of migrating towards that area. Because I know it's a show of force, but what are you getting from there? You're just getting the same people over and over again. And that kind of put into my point in number 5. So number 4, the other reason that what went wrong with Lenny's campaign is the whole slate isn't marketable. When I say marketable, meaning hindi siya pangmasa. It's more on grounds on the elitists. One, they got the ulterior motive of bringing back ABS-CBN. That's good. Okay lang naman. But I think ABS-CBN doesn't need the station anymore kasi may Kapamilya Live online naman. Pero, look at this slate. Delima. Yeah, sure. Delima. She has nanay ng 4-piece. Very informative. Ngayon ko lang nalaman siya yung inventor ng 4-piece and not Duterte. But, people would think, would they rather vote for someone who will not be attending Senate hearings for 6 years. Diba? Another person, Chel Jokno. Very good credentials. Chel Jokno, very good credentials. Lawyer, father is a martial law victim. But if you look at it, if people right now, instead of balancing the opposition and the administration state, they want a Senate that can work well with the consensual winner. So, if yun nga, napoproject ng tao, si Marcos mananalo, they will not just vote for Chel because Chel is going to be hard to work with because he's a critic. Chel is a critic. He's gonna be hard to work with other senators. Mahirap siyang katrabaho sa Senado. Okay? So, parang hindi siya maboboto doon. And most of the lineup ng slate ni Robredo, they all got good credentials. And I don't think most people will look at credentials, to be honest. Only a few people will look at credentials, but there are people na don't want to be spoon-fed or shove the experience, the credentials right down their throats. Hindi naman sila HR na bihasa sa mga ganyan. When it comes to democracy, it's like a popularity contest. And people will tend, the audience, the demographic will go, the consensual demographic will vote to what sticks. And what stuck with them is Marcos's message of unity. It was easy to digest. And it's not like a whole list. They even made a Google Drive nga, diba? Na puro accomplishment ni Leni, accomplishment ni Chel. People are not gonna read that, to be honest. I had a hard time reading them. And most of those people are very, very unknown. Like Teddy Bagilat. We don't know him. Diba? And as much as it irks me to say this, wala silang personality. They're just a politician. This is why WWE cannot be beaten by AEW. Because AEW doesn't have personality. Lahat ng characters sila are wrestlers that just do high spots. This is the same as what Lenny stated. They're just politicians who have good credentials, but none of them ring a bell on the consensual demographic. They are only appealing to a certain demographic of voters, and that is not gonna work in a democratic way. Lalo na sa system natin. It may work if we implement like an electoral college, di ba? But in this time, popularity votes, there's a reason why it's called popularity votes in the first place. So, yeah. Number 5, you're with us, against us mentality. So, yun nga. We got reports of supporters attacking worship services in Project for Quezon City and Cebu. Meron pa yung, di ba, yung tinag na fake news site yung Net25. Ewan ko na sa SMNI. Ayaw nila sa SMNI, even though it's a proper debate. No question, it's a proper debate. They got that you're with us or against us. Marami nagkakahiwalay na pamilya. Matak-matak na pamilya dahil yung tatay, maka Marcos, as yung anak, maka Robredo. Marami sa Twitter nagsasabi, nakatakwil yung magulang. Hell, may mga nagsasabi pa nga, hindi daw sila maniniwala sa Diyos kung mapatalo si Lenny. So, what is there to say that? People will get turned off in that mentality. Sa iglesia, nag-aakay kami. Try namin mag-akay ng mga tao sa reliyon namin. Kasi, yun nga, kailangan magbunga. But if a person na inaakay namin is not willing to listen, then we just move on. We're not gonna force them to read the whole 25 doctrines, force them to attend our indoctrination sessions if it's not willing to listen. This is the same thing, but the reverse. Ang ginagawa, persons not willing to listen, they will shove all the information right to your face. Isa yun sa mga ano, yeah. And the whole summer is people don't like to get their egos checked. People will stick on something that will caress them. Diba? Kinukonsinti sila. Not being criticized. People will stick on persons that will cooperate with them, that will consort them, and not those that will critic them. People will stick on persons that are easy to work with and not hard to work with. And number 6, overall, the real reason, superiority complex. Bobo, tanga, yun. Yung mga binasa ko kaninang tweets. It's disappointing na nagkaroon ng superiority complex yung mga supporters sa Lenny kasi nakapag-aral sila sa Lasal, sa UP. Like, yeah, sila tuloy naging matalino. They become that connoisseurs. Like those people who criticize the Marvel Cinematic Universe kasi medyo casually oriented. Remember, do not judge a person's intelligence based on their decisions kasi may other side of the coin yan. Hindi man sila na bobo tanga dahil sa mga facts. May mga voters akong sinasabi, tulad ko, voters that are tactical. Tactical meaning they observe the surveys, the exit polls. Alamin nila siya yung mananalo, yun ang bubotohin nila. Hindi kabobohan yun. Okay, hindi yun kabobohan. I think that's even smart because those people are those people that have the brain and the intelligence that they just the winning mentality. So they will stick on the winners, right? Tactical voters. So consider those aspects. Not ask them why BBM. Don't ask them why Isko. Why not Lenny? Because that's not just the deal. You're making it. That's like straight to the point na why. Ang maganda dyan, pag sa mga ganyan, and I think she can run it back naman sa 2028, but it can be a hard spot to do. If they don't want negative campaigning, if they want to win, they need to change their style. They must make the Senate slate more marketable. Have Jel Jokno sing Tarzan Boy by Baltimore or something like that. And instead of YBBM na diretsahan, we can ask, may I know why you are voting for this candidate? Let's be polite, people. Like I said, people will tend to be ano ba yung tamang termino dun? People likes being caressed. Like, have their egos be brushed on. Gusto nila maging pogi. Yun yung punto nito. So, instead of being negative, wag mo sabihin bobo yung tao. Just say, let me explain. Be polite. See? And, of course, pag natalo kayo, please accept defeat. Medyo na it will hurt your candidate in the long term, lalo na if she will plan to run in 2028, because in the sense of things, Sara Duterte will run for president in 2028 and Lenny is gonna have a hard time fighting back. So it's gonna be Sara Duterte or Amy Marcos. So it's gonna be Lenny and tulungan na natin, Lenny for president, run it back, but your vice president isn't marketable. Convince Vico Soto for VP. If you convince him, job well done. Ano pa ba? Okay. And also, they got sucked in by the propaganda of their own making. So, yeah. Yun nga, the evilness of the Marcoses, yung parang rebranding, yeah, they got sucked into it so much. that it all fell apart. They got sucked into the propaganda of disinformation. Everyone got sucked in. Everyone developed a superiority complex. Everyone became zealots, and everyone campaigned negatively. It's a domino reaction. I hope it we will run it back. Now, how can Lenny get the vote of the INC? Well, wala man bayad dyan. Ang request ko lang siguro, baka may tinanong kay Lenny regarding the edification of the church. And medyo siguro lax yung sagot ni BBM regarding the Church of Christ. And Lenny doesn't have a very lax answer. So what she can do is she can remove the Lima from her slate next election and add someone who is more popular to the people. We can put in AJ Raval, 'di ba? We can all I'm saying is you have the persons with credentials, put a little bit of personality into them. Lenny, you're a rock star, you have personality. But my God, Kiko Pangilinan is boring. If you're gonna run in 2028, like I said, drop Kiko, put Vico Soto in. And I think you can run it back. It's gonna be hard though. You're gonna be against Duterte in 2028. So yeah. And I hope we had a fruitful discussion here. If there are criticisms, if there are like negative replies on this video, I'm just going to turn off the comments. So those are my takes. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.